Please subscribe.
The new 444 horsepower twin-turbocharged 2.9-liter V6 is approximately 66 pounds lighter than the previous RS5's 450 horsepower 4.2-liter V8. Overall, the coupe's weight is more evenly distributed than before, and Audi claims the new car carries just 54% of its mass on its front axle. Compare that with the last generation RS5 Coupe we tested, which was slightly more nose-heavy with 57% of the car's 4,040-pound curb weight shouldered by the front wheels. The Audi RS5 and the Porsche Panamera 4S share essentially the same twin-turbocharged 2.9-liter V6 engine but tuned differently to suit each car's brand characteristics. We're not talking about simple electronic tweaks here and there. Audi says the V6s and the RS5 and Panamera use completely different crankshafts. The RS5's compression ratio is a lower 10.0:1 versus the Porsche's 10.5:1, and the Audi's 444 horsepower and 443 pounds-to-foot of torque outgun the Porsche's 440 horses and 405 pounds-to-foot. Unlike the Panamera 4S, which uses an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission, the RS5 relies on an 8-speed automatic transmission with the traditional torque converter. While this may seem like a downgrade on paper, the transmission is a gem in the real world, where it smoothly and precisely swaps cogs. Opt to shift it for yourself, and the transmission will even hold gears until you summon an upshift, with one exception, the first to second upshift. Even in manual mode, the car performs this shift on its own so the driver can avoid missing the shift and unintentionally bogging the engine. Audi fits the RS5 with a flat oil cooler ahead of the radiator. The horizontally positioned piece doesn't just keep the turbo V6's oil from getting too hot, it also generates 6.6 pounds of downforce at 62 miles per hour. Whereas other markets will need to check an option box for the RS5's torque vectoring rear differential, every 2018 RS5 sent to the US market will have the feature as standard. Audi says the differential can transfer every ounce of the maximum engine torque sent to the rear axle to either the left or right rear wheel. That means up to 85% of torque can be sent to a single rear wheel or split between the two. The default front-to-rear torque split, by the way, is 40% front and 60% rear. Under certain conditions, the computers can favor the front axle quite heavily as well, up to 70% of engine torque can be directed to the front axle when traction needs dictate. We voiced our displeasure with Audi's variable steering system and its unpredictable nature in the past, and the German brand heard our woes. Now the $1,150 variable steering option in the RS5 locks itself into a fixed, and quick, 13.5:1 steering ratio when the vehicle is set to its dynamic drive mode. If you switch out of dynamic mode, the steering will vary its ratio relative to the vehicle's speed, quickening at lower speeds and slackening at higher velocities. To accommodate its wider wheels and tires, the RS5's fenders are blistered outward by nearly half an inch relative to non-RS badged A5 models. The resulting stance makes the RS5 look as aggressive as the sound of its exhaust at wide-open throttle. Still, we could do without the faux air vents that sit beside each headlight and taillight. Audi says the standard 19-inch forged wheels weigh about 23 pounds apiece. Adding the $1,500 black optic package fits the car with bigger, 20-inch forged wheels that weigh approximately 28 pounds apiece, plus gloss black exterior trim and body-colored door mirrors. Want that big rim look with slightly less weight penalty? The black optic package unlocks the option for 20-inch milled-cut wheels that weigh about 27 pounds apiece, bring another $2,500, though. According to Audi, the RS5 includes carbon fiber interior trim with the wider weave pattern than the trim used in the lesser S5. What, you didn't notice the girthier weave?